Hello everyone, my name's Yutta Jazz and I'm coming back with a pep talk video because I just randomly got guided to do it when I was just minding my own business, not really thinking about making too much effort towards like recording or whatever, except for maybe like streaming in the evening. But this pep talk is maybe gonna be short, maybe not. It's about basically just doing what you do and going towards that direction. Don't try and figure out whatever your success is, whatever's gonna work out, whatever's gonna make sense, or whatever's gonna be perfect. I think that one kind of stops a lot of people that are trying to make or create things. No one's born knowing or being, all capable. Everyone kind of goes through the lull of like trying something and seeing how it goes, and then having that experience feed into their understanding to do it again in a better way, or maybe do a different thing, right? In a way that's gonna be like more of the polished result or whatever it is, right? But it's a journey. It's not about the destination. Once you do it, that's it. It's done. You just have it done. There's nothing about it really. And it's a really hard concept. I myself always am still like working through whatever comes up within me about it, but um, it's really about the process that you go through of like thinking of something you want to do, figuring it out, having a little bit of an image in your head, maybe having a lot of confusion of like how is it going to work, arguments of like this could work, this probably isn't going to work, whatever it is, maybe talking over it with people or friends or Googling a bunch for hours before you go to bed about like how do you craft a table with, I don't know, like 5 corners in it and make it pretty or something. I don't know, like everyone's kind of going for different things. Content creation is popular right now, but I feel like as some people are cycling into it, other people are cycling into their hobbies. They're cycling into like, oh, I don't want to just be working and coming back home and being on that grind and being tired, or just like not really feeling a flare, or like I want to stop, wasting my time going out every weekend and drinking with uh, people I don't really like have a lot to talk to about anymore, or where I can't express myself for the hobbies or interests I have, right? It's kind of like there's a huge collective shift towards being and doing what and how you like, right? And for some people, it's actually like completely coming out of society, going into hermithood, or maybe even just finding like your own solitude and rest and recuperation. But then that time, what do you do with it, right? You still need to fill it in or fill it up with stuff that actually feeds your soul or makes you feel like you're getting better or like you're passing time by in a way that's fun for you, that's good for you. And sometimes through burnout, the thing that you'd like to do is just like Netflix and chill and not do shit. But for other people, it is like, I need to take my own vacation so I can invest in whatever it is, or do soul searching to see like, what is my thing? What do I like doing? Maybe I'll go and, stay in a cabin in the woods for a weekend and try and write a book or do some painting, or just kind of like exercise in that forest, go do some fishing, some foraging, whatever it is, right? And I'll just kind of like tune into that. I'll let myself go away from the noise of society or the responsibilities I have. And it's really funny how we always find a way to hold ourselves back, but we never find ways to compliment ourselves on the progress we make, on the changes we achieve, on the different people we become, like throughout those journeys. It's kind of like easier to look to the next thing that you want to do that's going to be like an achievement success, or it's going to just be done, right? And then like, it's so easy to miss the whole point of it, which is you do the stuff you like and you keep changing through it. You just keep doing it and you keep like, expanding on it, gaining experience, having those ups and downs about it, being like, really in the zone, and then having a writer's block and thinking like, what the fuck do I do? That's the whole thing. the destination can take up about anywhere between like, you know, a day, a moment, or maybe a month or a year of an experience of like, oh, I made it, I did this is the thing. But even if it's gonna take that like amount of time, it's gonna somehow start like going away and fizzling, because it's like the human condition instantly reverts us back to what's the next thing? Where are we going after this, right? It's like some people, or a lot, in my opinion, at least from my view, as I do this as well, struggle with the point of like celebration, being in tune with the stuff that it's like, oh my god, I did this, you know? It's you know, been a while, and now this is what it came up to. And really, like, the process never goes away. All of the different destinations, yeah, they cycle in and out. All of the different goals and results, like, they keep happening. They're gonna keep happening. It's unavoidable. Making life about that little amount of time that you spend there that you can't even focus on kind of seems so counterintuitive, and yet we're all programmed and hardwired to do that. I personally kind of feel sometimes like it's a survival mechanism that's kind of coming up, you know, like maybe, I don't know, either the whole dread and mental health thing about it, or maybe even just a survival mechanism from, you know, us kind of evolving to this point where we have more freedom and ease in technology, and, you know, we got to go around life and things in a different way to make ends meet and survive. But maybe that's the point of it, is like, oh, I did this thing, what's the next thing I gotta do to be okay, to be sorted, to be settled? And it's like, do we really want to be living like that? We're building a whole new way of, you know, expressing ourselves, experiencing ourselves, as we're building a whole new, you know, civilization and society and just way of life. Is it really that important? You know, it's gonna keep going on. So yeah, but focusing on the point of like really ebbing and flowing through every moment of life, through every journey, through every stage, through every passion, hobby, whatever it is, even difficulty at times, right? We're not gonna have just like good things happening, or do good things and only good things happen. There's still gonna be like ins and outs to it, but I think repeating the same stuff, trying to keep it the same to get results that where you don't even like the process, and so you won't like the result, and then also going through the whole, you know, ignorance of like what it actually means is silly. We are breaking out of it. I see so many countless examples of people talking about this that inspire me, make me feel like, I guess, a bit better, and even people that are further ahead in their successful journey or whatever it is, which maybe they aren't, right? They are just where they are. Everyone else is where they are as well. Like, comparison doesn't really cut it here, but anyone at any level at any point kind of goes through a bit of a difficulty, right? Kind of goes through a bit of a internal hiccup about it. Either, I don't know, talking shit about yourself, criticizing how you sound, how you look, how you speak, how you stuttered on something, how, I don't know, a little bit of a crafting thing has a little blip over here, over there, or how your knitting is not perfect, and every time you knit something, it comes out like freaking not great, and then, you know, all of these things can make either the journey more hard or can make you actually even stop doing it. And really, the whole process is from like going from a rough spot, rough shape, rough, you know, try and attempt, to a way of doing it where it just kind of is natural to you and flows, but then you keep expanding. It's always like a glass ceiling after a glass ceiling, and you're kind of just saying like, what do you want to be in or do with it? And I think that kind of stays regardless if you're at the beginning or at the end of whatever your hobby or passion or home or work is, right? Like, at some point you can be happy with the results you got, but you're still going to think to the next thing. And you're still going to be in this entirety of like living it, being it, doing it, right? The whole journey is not even about succeeding, getting that thing, or doing it. Sometimes it is if it's like, I kind of want to like move out on my own. I want to be healthier and not be sick. I want to like these things, yeah, they're tangible and they kind of add to that continuous like vibe or feeling that we have, right? And it's always nice to have a better foundation than where you started from, if it was difficult or where you got to like struggling, right, to getting out of that. It's always important. Life is full of that kind of like transition and road and shift and change. But when it comes to actually like being in the present moment and accepting the point of like the stuff that you want to do is really kept away by you and what you say to yourself, and the whole process is literally coming over that, figuring it out, understanding like, why am I criticizing myself? Why am I afraid of doing this weird different thing? Why am I afraid of like posting or uploading this? If I really am kind of like into it and passionate, right? Why do I feel like I need to stick to this thing to be successful, and then I'm spinning my wheels and then I'm not really getting the result I want, though I thought that was the way to do it? If you're investing that type of energy, that's what you get, right? Whereas if you want to actually be free within what you're doing and creating, that's a whole different thing. And the success of it afterwards that becomes apparent isn't necessarily in the figures of like numbers or popularity or other things. It's your own success feeling. It's what you think about that to yourself. It's what you say about that to yourself. It's a really weird example that I'm getting right now, but I'm gonna go with it. You know, when a kid makes something and brings it to their parents all excited, like, oh my God, look at this, and then they're like praised for it. And it is a kid's creation, and it's sentimentally, most of the time sentimentally more important to the parent than actually like a Picasso freaking painting, right? But that doesn't take away from the magnificence and beauty of it. Like the parent can actually see the point that it's so cool that the kids spent so much time and this is what they got, and they had fun the entire fucking time. The entire time, you know? They kind of see it more in the light of like, it's a process, it's a life thing, than it is you need to make it like this and result in it. Eventually, yeah, whatever that cycles into, like, I'll leave it because that's a whole complicated topic, different topic. But the point of it is kind of the same with ourselves, as we gotta deal with ourselves. If you're holding yourself back, if you're saying it's not worth it, if you're saying you're not good enough, nothing you make is good enough, keeps coming up and popping up, or like, oh, this is how other people are successful, I can't go away from this, or this is what the algorithm perceives as important, or spreads it across like YouTube or TikTok or some other things, like, I need to keep doing this, although I really want to do this and just experiment and see what it's gonna be like. It's kind of like, why not do it? If you're missing that step of change, which is gonna be maybe a rough cut, a crude transition, or literally an experiment that isn't gonna go anywhere, or is gonna kind of plummet in whatever you consider to be a sign of success or results, like maybe it's gonna plummet in views, maybe it's gonna plummet in durability if you're making something, or just like it's gonna be a bit rougher around the edges, literally. Why not go there? Why not do it? Why does everything need to be perfect right away if it's never gonna be perfect to begin with? You only get perfection through countless times of it being imperfect, and then eventually being like, all of these imperfections, all of this other stuff that worked out, if you add it up different, I could potentially make this whole another different thing I never thought about, because I didn't, go through the journey of like just changing my stuff, just trying it, just going there, even if it's uncomfortable, even if I don't have a plan, even if it just doesn't add up, even if this or that or whatever. The whole process is literally us going through the internal thing of, why are you holding yourself back and not doing it and trying to just get results? And how do you lean into just doing it, enjoying it, and knowing that you chose to support yourself in creating something different and a bit out of your comfort zone, but you knew you wanted to do it. It wasn't just like you getting out of your comfort zone to, I don't know, people please, or I don't know, which this kind of side is, right? Or to show up a specific way, or so I'm safe and no one like says anything about me, or whatever it is. Because we all have these things, like even regardless of how confident you are, you can't tell me you never had this. You can't tell me you've never had a situation where this kind of like hit you, regardless of what it is. Is it creative? Is it personal? Is it whatever else, right? So yeah, it's kind of funny how the only thing we really need to do is trust ourselves, support ourselves, and lean into that random, I don't know, brain fart of creation. I don't know why you wanted to can't come up that way, but and just really lean into it, invest into it, do the thing that's like rough, maybe like a bit unbaked, right? But you want to do it, it's fun, it might be a bit of a change or a shift or uncontrollable, or maybe you know it right away, like this is not gonna be successful, like this is gonna be just like a point on the road, and I'm just gonna do it, because like why the I want to do it. Like it keeps popping up in my brain. I keep thinking about that. I don't have a plan. I have no idea how the hell, like maybe this thing even works, but screw it. Like how do you get it? It's through the point of you enjoying it and just seeing what happens from that, like going forward and keeping that conversation within of like, nice, keep going. Why not try that? The house isn't going to burn down. Like, I can go there, I can post that, I can make that, I can start using tools, I can start, like, trying to draw and paint. Just, kind of sometimes it might be a point of, like, really committing to challenging yourself, or committing to only supporting yourself, and being real with that support, right? Being okay with your constructive criticism, with your coddling, with your whatever you might need that, is important for your process, that sometimes we can't really expect from other people, or we can't assume like, oh, our environment is going to provide this, or, oh, people seeing this will react to that in a way that's going to keep us going. No, like this is a whole cultivation thing within each and every one of us. Everyone has different things or different monologues, fears, and other hiccups, and it takes sometimes time to understand and realize what that is. But heck, if it's not like important to lean into it and just trust the process, ignore the freaking destination, have the vision of it, right? Because it's kind of like looking where you're going, right? But you're gonna have another place to go to after you reach it. So it's always just going to be the journey going on and on and on. And you don't need to be anything. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to show up a certain way. You don't need to have a bazillion likes or views. You don't need anything. You just need to love it yourself and just keep going for it and spend as much time as you need there. Like, just commit to it and, begin that process of like, okay, this is it. This is what I want. This is where I'm going. And, keep changing through that. Let it be like a explorative, artistic process of your own life. Whatever it is, making videos, learning how to do home redecorating all on your own, painting and drawing and stuff like that. It's so amazing to me to see how much people achieve in 30 days if they just draw anywhere between like 15 minutes to 30. And some do it for an hour, but you don't need to do it for that long. You can do it for like 20 minutes a day. And after 30 days, you can see the results. And I can remember like kids doing the same thing, really. Some people have lost the skill to draw, but when they were like younger in school, because they were bored as fuck most of the time, and they needed to do something to pass the time by, right? They were great. They were great at doodles. Maybe they were actually getting into significant like pencil drawings, maybe it was paintings out of freaking nowhere. Maybe they just know how to like decorate stuff up, right? Just some items, or I don't know, certain cabinets and other stuff in their house. Whereas now I think everyone's just busy on being productive, an adult, responsible, having a point to things, you know, like not leaving any openings for that vulnerability of exploration and growth in that it's just like we're losing passion. We're actually losing self-confidence, trust, like supporting ourselves and going forward through that. And it's a societal dilemma that we are actually breaking through right now. Not everywhere in the same way. Not all places have like as much as support with that. Not everyone understands that as a truth, right? Some people are so heavy about surviving, they don't even want to invest in thinking like, oh, how to start, you know, enjoying themselves more because it's a waste of time. It's hard. What's the point of it, right? And it's like, well, the point of it is your whole life is gonna improve. Like, why not do it? It's free most of the time. If it's not free, you know, like it's still a whole new journey of you looking forward to where you could invest your money that if you have an excess of and you don't really have interests or passions to invest it towards, doesn't really matter too much anyway. You'll just have money to feed yourself and to keep up your house and to just be okay and alright. But then, like, where is your life improving going forwards from there if you have everything you're already striving for in terms of, you know, surviving day to day? So, yeah, I think I got most of my thoughts and ideas out. This is a really random, like, just push to do a video like this. I hope it, you know, helps you and finds you in the right way, time, way, whatever. I hope you invest into your own journey and remember to keep going and expanding and enjoying yourself and trusting and believing in yourself. I hope you have a lot of luck, like, you know, speaking to yourself differently and then taking care of yourself so you can find that as inspiration when you're relaxing, when you're seeing other things that really make you happy, when you're out in nature, or maybe even watching a movie, right? Or watching, you know, birds outside your window. I hope that you follow that inspiration and you go with that change and you do it fearlessly, being brave, which being brave is going through fear, right? Even if you're afraid. But I hope you just give that chance to yourself and you trust it and see where it ends up. See what happens from it. You know, you might teach all of us a thing or two. You don't freaking know. And don't be afraid to freaking fail and fall on your face. We all do it. That's why we're all insecure about it, and we are getting out of an age of like people poking and prodding in that. Um, yeah. So thank you so much. I appreciate you clicking and, you know, sharing your story or doing whatever you do with the buttons down below. If you want to see more of me, I have a link tree as well down below where I do Twitch streams, live tarot readings, video games as well, and you can also find my Discord through that rabbit hole eventually. So, yeah, thank you and have a good one. Peace.